Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We will be starting our panel shortly. We're going to give just a moment for everyone to join. Thank you for being on this afternoon. So again, we're so glad you could join us, Girls Inc. of Metro Denver, for this year's My Bold Future celebration. We're really excited to be able to bring you a live scholarship panel this afternoon to celebrate our 2021 scholarship winners. As many of you know, Girls Inc. has distributed scholarships for many years, and tonight we're so excited to announce $67,500 in college scholarships awarded to 9 incredibly deserving girls. We're excited also that you will be able to hear directly from them about their experience at Girls Inc. of Metro Denver, their work and leadership in the community, and their hopes and dreams for the future. I'm also really grateful that we have a Girls Inc. alumna, board member, and one-time Girl of the Year, Maritza Bonilla, moderating tonight's panel. In addition to the questions that Maritza will ask, we will also have an opportunity for you, our audience, to ask your questions. So you may be thinking of those and holding on to those for the second half of tonight's panel. Now, before I introduce Maritza, I'd like to officially announce our 2021 scholarship winners. First, we have our $5,000 Teen Leadership Scholars. Anaya Beasley.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anaya. I attend East High School and I am a sophomore.
Jahaira Bernal Martinez.
Hi, my name is Yahaira. I'm currently enrolled in Empower Community High School and I am also in 10th grade.
And Yumna Ali.
Hi, I'm Yumna. I currently attend KIPP Northeast Denver Leadership Academy and I'm in 10th grade.
Congratulations to all of our Teen Leadership Scholars. Next, we have our $5,000 Diane Foss STEM Scholarship winner, Orania Torres.
Hi, my name is Orania. I go to Arvada West High School and I'm currently a junior.
Thank you, Orania, and congratulations. We also have our very first Tiffany Payne and Matt Mann Community College Scholarship winner, Shaltu Hama, who unfortunately cannot join us tonight, but we know she's with us in spirit. Next, we have our $10,000 Strong, Smart, and Bold Scholars. Ganet Alemseged.
Hi, I'm Ganna Alemseged. I go to George Washington High School and I'm a senior.
Haywan Yosef.
Hi, everybody. My name is Haywan. I'm currently a senior at Smoky Hill High School.
And Sophia Gall.
Hi, I'm Sophia and I go to DSST Byers and I'm also a senior.
Congratulations to our Strong, Smart, and Bold Scholars. And finally, our $10,000 Collegiate Scholar, Husna Yassini.
Hi, everyone. My name is Husna. I go to the University of Colorado, Denver, and I'm getting my degree in Spanish with a math minor.
Congratulations, Husna. We're so excited for you. And congratulations again to all of our 2021 scholarship winners. We know this last year has been an incredible challenge, and we're so glad to be able to share in some of the goodness and celebration that these scholarship awards bring. Now, I'd like to introduce our moderator tonight. A number of you know her, but we also would like to really honor her history with us, not just currently, but where she's been involved with Girls Inc. over the years. Maritza Bonilla was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, a daughter of Mexican immigrants. After being a Girls Inc. Scholarship winner and Girl of the Year, Maritza attended Metropolitan State University of Denver and graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree in finance. Today, Maritza is a senior manager at TIAA, in addition to being a Girls Inc. board member. Maritza also loves to hike in the Rocky Mountains and is a mother to 15-year-old twin girls and a 10-year-old son. I'm sure they share in that love as well. So without further ado, Maritza Bonilla.
Thank you, Sonia. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I am so thrilled to be here today. As you can probably see on my face, this has been full circle for me. 24 years ago, maybe even longer, I was on this exact panel waiting to see if my name was going to be called, and I was Girl of the Year, 1994, and that dates my age, and that's okay. But I got my first college scholarship, which really helped me go to college. So a couple years before that, I was blessed to be introduced to Girls Inc. So at the tender age of 11, I did start going to the center there on West Colfax. And my gosh, Girls Inc. taught me how to be independent, a strong woman, being bold, having a voice, and understanding that the sky's the limit to do what I wanted to do. So I was able to really accomplish a lot of my goals, which I instill in my girls. And yes, they're 15, and I would appreciate a lot of prayers at this time if you have teenagers. But just leading the way for other girls in the community to just really understand that there is so much out there. There's potential, there's education, whatever you want to do, the sky's the limit, and we're here to help you. So obviously I'm very much still in love and involved with Girls Inc. They have really been a part of my life journey and my story, and continue to be. So thank you so much for having me again. We're gonna have a great hour. So stick around and let's get started and meet our ladies, our scholarship recipients. Let's go ahead and start with Urania. Urania, you've been a Girls Inc. girl throughout your life. And what does it mean to you to be strong, smart, and bold? How do these values show up in your daily life?
So I've been at Girls Inc. for about 10 years of my life. So Girls Inc. has played a really influential and important part in shaping the person who I am today. Personally, for me, being strong, smart, and bold means like not being afraid to just be your authentic self, and being independent and not being afraid to pursue any dream that you want, because it's always obtainable, and being able to advocate not only for yourself but for other women, and being able to help empower other young women as well.
Thank you, Urania. Yeah, absolutely. Pulling it forward and teaching others and living it yourself. That's exactly what we're here to do. So thank you for that. Let's go to Jahaira. Jahaira, you have younger sisters and inspire to be a role model for them and for others. Last summer, you were also a Girls Inc. intern and mentored elementary girls. Why do you think mentorship and having role models is important?
I believe that having mentorship and role models is a very important thing, just to set like a good standard, like, oh, I see that she's doing great, I want to do great as well. Just having a role model makes you want to do great, and sometimes even better than your role model.
Absolutely. And who is your role model?
I have two role models. One would definitely be my mom. She's definitely very strong and she's been through a lot. We both have. And I'd say another one of my role models would be Megan Rapinoe. She's a soccer player. I just find her super amazing. She's always standing up for what's right, and I would love to be like her one day.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing. I actually have 3 younger sisters myself, and they're very mad at me that I set the bar really high with college scholarships. And actually my baby sister's graduating next week from the University of Denver. So we're really proud of everybody. So thanks for sharing. All right, let's go to Yumna. Yumna, you have had an essay published in a national blog and worked on Girls Inc. Teen Leadership Board to develop an Instagram account called Amplify BIPOC Voices. Why do you think it's important for young people to share their stories and develop and use their voices?
Yeah, I believe that it's important for young people to share their stories and start using their voices, because we are the future. And I believe that being able to develop these skills now will help us in the future, and it will help us create a better society for ourselves and other younger generations to live in.
Thank you, absolutely. I can't agree with you more. So keep doing what you're doing. Let's go to Sophia. Sophia, as a Girls Inc. participant, you're an active member of the Teen Leadership Board and Eureka STEM program. How has your experience at Girls Inc. helped shape your leadership, and why is it important for girls and women to step into leadership roles?
Girls Inc. has been super valuable in helping me to recognize leadership skills through Teen Leadership Board and also Eureka. Through Eureka, I was able to become a program assistant, and there I was able to teach younger Eurekans, rookies, and vets all about STEM, and it helped me to discover what I call quiet leadership, not always having to be the first one to share your ideas, but more of a collaborative, listening to everyone's ideas, as well as not always having to be the first person to speak, allowing everyone to speak. And I feel that leadership roles for women are so important because Girls Inc. has helped me to recognize my potential as a leader, and I feel that everyone has talents and abilities that they can share as leaders.
Thank you, Sophia. Yes, absolutely. Being a leader it's not about a title, it's about moving people together, and you're only as good as the team you have, right? So I can just share some experiences when I became a leader, a manager for the first time. It was very frightening, and I envy you ladies who've had a lot of practice in this arena. So I know you guys are going to do great in your future endeavors. So keep up the great work. All right, let's go to Anaya. Anaya, you believe that being a leader is not a title, but action. In your opinion, what is one issue that girls and young women currently face that you would like to see more action to address?
Yeah, so I feel like one problem that definitely is underrepresented would be the way that women are portrayed in the media, as well as feminism. I feel like women are often portrayed as in need of saving or as a damsel in distress, but I feel like with spreading awareness and truly speaking up about that topic, that it can truly spark change and stop this problem.
That's great. Thanks, Anaya. Absolutely, right? We've been working for decades to show and spotlight how strong women are and girls, and definitely something we still have a lot to work on, but I know you all are gonna help lead the way on that. All right, let's go to Hasna. Hasna, you are graduating soon from the University of Colorado, Denver, and will be going to the medical school on the Anschutz campus. What advice would you give to other girls who are beginning their college careers and still deciding on a career path?
A piece of advice that I can give to other girls is that it's important to find mentors who can guide you and answer any questions that you may have. Throughout every stage in my education, I've had a mentor who's helped me in high school, during my first 2 years of college, while I was trying to get adjusted to school, while studying for the MCAT and applying to med school. So I truly owe my success to the mentors that I've had.
That's great. Thank you, Hasna. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always get asked, you know, Marisa, how do I get further in my career? How do I learn to do something different? And first thing I ask everybody is like, do you have a mentor? And they're like, what is that? I'm like, somebody who's going to be very candid with you and help you get through what you need to. So great job. I'm glad you're doing that. That's great advice. All right, let's go to Jeanette. Jeanette, you talked about the challenges and judgments you faced as a Black young woman and founded a group at your high school called Beautiful Black Girls, BBG, which has over 32 members. Why do you think it's important, especially for girls and young women, to build a strong community of support?
Cool. When I think of that question, I really think of what drove me to start Beautiful Black Girls. I definitely wanted to create an uplifting space for the Black girls in the George Washington High School community. I feel like we live in a world where girls in general are just kind of frowned upon, and I feel like having an uplifting space is really needed in general. I guess like an example is within Beautiful Black Girls, we have tutoring where if you're good at a subject, you can help another girl, or if you're struggling, you can come in and get help. And I feel like having an environment or a space where you can go in and it's empowering and uplifting is just needed in general.
Thank you, Jeanette. Absolutely, right? I mean, that's one of the things I loved about Girls Inc. when I was growing up. I felt safe, I felt empowered. I felt like I can just really be creative with what I wanted to do and talk to people about it. And they were really supportive and telling me, hey, that's a great idea. You should keep doing that. And even now as a mother, and I'm sure we have a couple mothers on this call, you know, you just hope you don't go through this alone. You definitely need a support system, which I call a tribe. So great job setting that up at your high school. All right, let's go to Haywan. Haywan, you're a student athlete on a debate team and part of the Model UN, among many other accomplishments. You will be the first in your family to attend college and aspire to combine your passion for statistics and public policy to be an advocate for underrepresented communities. What are the biggest motivators in your life to achieve these goals?
As you've mentioned, I've had the opportunity to fully immerse myself in a variety of extracurriculars and volunteering opportunities. So reflecting back on my high school years, everything I involved myself in was quintessential to my growth as an individual and pushing me to see past my struggles as a Black woman, furthering my motivation. So understanding how those around me, regardless of similarities or differences, deal with issues such as whitewashed core curriculums, egregious gentrification efforts, and unattainable healthcare services, that all sparked my initial desire to apply my mathematical aptitude to address such inequities. And I'm excited to feed my interest as I navigate college next year.
That's amazing. Thank you. I thought I was the only one that loved statistics because I did so well in it. So I'm good. I'm glad to find that I have other folks in my corner. But no, that's great. Absolutely. Using what you have, the resources that you have, and identifying needs and how you can fill those gaps is absolutely critical. So congrats on that. Thank you. So that's a wonderful panel, right? Scholarship recipients. So let's now provide each of you, the attendees, an opportunity to just ask us some questions, the 2021 scholarship recipients, some questions about their experiences, their dreams, their hopes for the future. I invite you to submit your questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. But our first two questions come from our 2021 lead partners. First question we have is from Barbara at Leprino Foods.
So on behalf of myself and the Leprino Foods Company Foundation, it is a true honor to be a partner with such a committed and dedicated organization that is helping these girls to grow and learn and thrive. So thank you for that. So my question to the panel is, what has been the most meaningful experience you've had at Girls Inc. and how will that help you in the future? So thank you and best wishes to all of you.
Thank you, Barbara. So ladies, the question is, what is a meaningful experience you've had and how will it shape you in the future? Let's go to Haywan.
One of my most meaningful or memorable experiences at Girls Inc. was when I was volunteering in the virtual classrooms last year, and I got to teach the girls how to do a golf swing. So golf is something that's been very important to me growing up, and being able to share my love for the sport, one that isn't very welcoming to most of the girls at Girls Inc., was very heartwarming, and understanding, why they might not like it, why they might be in love with it, is something that I plan to take with me in the future as I share my interests with others.
Thanks, Haywan. Not only do you love math, but you like golf. I can't putt, so I might need some lessons from you. I like that. How about you, Haida? I saw you might be willing to answer that question.
Answering the question, one experience that I had at Girls Inc. was last year when I was also an internship here. I actually got to help lead the Girls Inc. staff with teaching the girls. And I think that really inspired me to, finally bring out what I wanted to do in the future. I've decided that I want to become a teacher. I'm not sure if in Girls Inc. or in a school yet, but I definitely want to be that mentor that was so important to me. I want to be that to another girl.
That's great. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Right. We always want to help, and sometimes we get in the way of like just life. And I know for me, I have to run home, and well, I am home, but I have to yell for the kids to come downstairs and start cooking and cleaning. And sometimes I forget to ask my girls, hey, how was your day? What's going on? So even in the world when we're together, it's hard to get out, right? So thank you for acknowledging that you still want to get out and help the girls. That's great. All right, amazing. Let's go to our next sponsor. Our next question comes from Lori and our lead partner, Prologis.
And see these very accomplished young women and hear all about what they are going to accomplish in their future. So that's fantastic. My name is Lori Palazzolo, and Prologis and I are proud to be sponsors of Girls Inc. of Metro Denver. It is such an amazing organization that offers creative and innovative and advanced programming and services to inspire girls to be strong, smart, and bold. And it's been especially evident over the last year plus in the way they've pivoted and responded to the pandemic situation with all the virtual programming and all the things that they've done. So it's been amazing. Thank you, Girls Inc. My question for the panel is I'd love to hear the top 1 or 2 ways that your relationship with Girls Inc. has been most impactful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And so to our scholars, in what ways has Girls Inc. been most impactful for you? Urania, share with us.
Sorry. So like I said previously, I have been a Girls Inc. girl for several years. So I have a lot of really good memories through Girls Inc. and I've met a lot of lifelong friends I have now. But I would say that my favorite memory from Girls Inc. would be our art classes that we would do, just because it allowed me to freely express my artistic abilities, and I've always had a passion just for art in general. And another favorite memory of mine was our reproductive class that we took in Eureka. I think I was a vet, yeah. And it was just really nice because Girls Inc. has always taught us that it's just like a natural thing that happens in your life, like it's a part of womanhood. And I feel like in society, it's really like a lot of people consider it like taboo kind of to talk about like just reproductive rights and reproduction in women and other things like that. So it's really helpful just to feel empowered through those classes and to actually learn and know what's going on with your body and how to just understand and deal with it.
That's great. Thanks for sharing. Jeanette.
Unlike Urania, I actually wasn't in Girls Inc. for that long. I recently joined Girls Inc. maybe back in October, and honestly, I kind of was just like, where have I been? How have I just heard about Girls Inc.? Because it's been such amazing with all of the different programs and like opportunities they have. I think one of my favorites was Thrive, which is pretty much like a mental health thing. And in the time that I joined, I was stacked with a lot of different scholarships and college applications, and I never really considered how much of mental health like and how draining and all of that was. So it was great to join Thrive and learn how to, you know, kind of debrief and take care of myself mentally.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I do want to add a funny story. One of my most memorable times when I was growing up at Girls Inc. And, you know, my parents are very strict Mexican, and they would tell me all the time, you know, if you hold hands with a boy, that's it, you're married and pregnant. And so when I went to Girls Inc. and I finally learned about the reproduction system, you know, I came back to my parents and said, no, sir, you know, so they were very happy that I learned the right way, because, you know, they didn't want to do that task to show me a lot of the things or explain a lot of the things that need to be done as a woman body changes and matures, and anything that I have to come in contact with as I'm growing up in Denver. So definitely it was something that was inspiring to me. And I remember telling Sonia one time, when we first met, I said, wow, the teenage pregnancy rate at my high school, which was North High School, was huge, very high when I was attending North High School. And luckily, I feel that I got the right education to really understand what that meant, and not only for my body, for myself, for the future child that I would have, and just what it would change my life too, and how to make the right decisions. So thanks for sharing that. Absolutely. And then I agree with mental health, and I might have to bring you back, so I know we have some questions on that. But yeah, we definitely live in an environment where mental health is not more of a taboo, more of a, hey, how are you doing, right? How are you feeling? And it's very important that we all take the time to take care of each other, especially in COVID world. I'll tell you that personally for me last year was really tough, because I'm very much of an extrovert and I love to be with people. So being stuck at home, I love my children, but they don't want to hang out with me sometimes. So I'm just by myself. And so I wanted that interaction. And so a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of meet and greets over the phone. And so you have to do what you have to do to get to help with your mental health. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we do have a couple questions that came in through our Q&A box. So thank you for participating. Keep the questions coming. So let's start with our first one. This is from Caitlin for our scholarship recipients. So the question is, what inspires you to get back up again when you run into challenges and setbacks? Who wants to answer that one? Yumna. So the question is, what inspires you to get back up again when you run into challenges and setbacks?
When I run into challenges and setbacks, I think that my motivators are really my biggest inspiration, and just knowing that I have a team of supporters who are behind me to support me to continue to grow, I think really helps me move on and move forward and keep on going.
Awesome, thank you. That's great. All right, our next question comes from Erin. What do you think is the biggest problem your generation will need to face in the future? It's a great question. All right, Haywan. The question was, what do you think is the biggest problem your generation will need to face in the future?
The most obvious answer would definitely be the climate crisis and how we lose dependency on fossil fuels. But just even moving forward from that, we as a generation have noticed some of the inequities within government and how certain minority groups are held back. So learning, like the biggest challenge that we as a generation will deal with would definitely be to dismantle the current form of government we have and create a more equitable and fair system. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Sophia, what do you think? What do you think is the biggest problem your generation will need to face in the future?
Yeah, I'd love to add on to Haywan and say that I feel like climate change is definitely a pressing issue, as we all share the earth and we need to take care of it in order to continue to live here. And additionally, I feel that there's equity issues, especially racial and socioeconomic equity issues that need to be fixed. For example, like housing or school or wage gaps. So I feel like there's a bunch of equity issues.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great point. Yeah, I remember when the pandemic first started, I was curious as to what the world would look like pollution-wise and what our impact, our carbon footprint was, and just what can we do differently. And I think there was some pictures of folks in India where everything cleared up, right? All the pollution, because we were all at home, and how can we do better being at home, and is it more effective? And so there's a lot to that. So absolutely, great job, ladies. All right, our next question comes from Liz Gardner. And her question is, with so much pressure on youth these days, how do you all care for your mental and physical health? And I think we had a question before, but let's Hasna, what about you? What about your mental and physical health? How are you taking care of that?
It's been really hard during the pandemic, but something that I learned from a podcast from a Yale professor called the Happiness Lab. Something that I learned is the importance of socializing, whether that be now through Zoom or phone calls or a socially distanced meetup. I think something that's important is to always be around other people, whether it's your friends or family, and not isolating yourself. So that's something that I've really had to work towards, is communicating with others and staying in contact with others. And I think that's really helped my mental health.
That's great, thank you. What about Anaya?
I would have to say putting yourself first, having the understanding that if you're not happy, how are you going to spark change? How are you going to get things done? So along with that, doing things that make you happy and things that bring you joy.
Thank you. Jeanette, what do you think?
I feel like just understanding that it's okay to not always get what you want, and rejection is redirections. Like in general, I feel like you can set a goal and not get it, and then it kind of like blows you. But I feel like you just kind of mentally understand that you're not gonna get everything you want, and just kind of work towards what you want without stressing yourself all the time. And that's something I personally have been working on.
Those are great answers. Absolutely. I think from Hasna, you're talking about being with friends and family. That is extremely critical. I mean, we are very much a packed people. I was going to say packed family. So being around friends and family is very important, especially if someone that lives by themselves or has teenage kids who don't want to come downstairs except to eat. That's something that, we got to work on quite a bit. But thank you for that. Yeah, rejection is definitely redirection. And it's true. It's very hurtful if you get rejected on whatever it is, but it is definitely redirection to something else that's meant for you. Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, so much for answering. All right, our next question comes from Eric, and it says, what is one change that you want to help make in society with all that you've learned at Girls Inc. of Metro Denver? Let's see, Sophia, what is one change that you want to help make in society with all that you've learned at Girls Inc.?
I'm thinking about a ton of female empowerment things that I've learned at Girls Inc. And I feel I want to help change like the language and way that we talk. I feel like we should be celebrating women more instead of putting each other down. And I feel like this could be done by just celebrating women and yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Jahaira, what's one thing you would help change?
So at first, I knew that I wanted to make change, but I didn't exactly know how. I never had that platform that, a whole bunch of people listened to me, and I was thinking, and I thought, well, the best way to make change is to become a teacher. So from what I've learned in Girls Inc., I definitely want to spread the motto, strong, smart, and bold. I think it's very important for all women to know and to follow by.
Absolutely, thank you. Yumna, share with us, what's the one thing you want to help change?
So with everything that I learned at Girls Inc., I think one thing that I would want to help change, which is similar to what the other girls have said, is really just encouraging other women and other young girls in pursuing their goals and dreams. Because I know that I've personally felt very empowered when I've joined Girls Inc., and I think that other girls also deserve to feel empowered and be like lifted up.
Absolutely. Thank you. Definitely. We have to lift each other up. We're our only best advocates, right? So we got to keep doing that. Thank you, ladies. Our next question comes from Patrina. And the question is, what advice do you have for women in corporate America on how they can support an initiative, thoughtful woman such as yourself? I'm sorry, innovative, thoughtful women such as yourself. So this is like, you were asking me, Marisa here, what can I do to help you guys as well? Let's go to Urania.
Sorry, it always takes me forever to unmute myself. So I think that a really important thing would to be just to simply advocate for yourself. I feel like, especially in a lot of corporate jobs, a lot of men are in higher positions than women. And I feel like they often try to like mansplain things to women, or they try to belittle them. And it's just really important to take charge of just what you want out of your own job, and effectively communicating will just help lessen the disparity within corporate jobs for women.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's great. Let's go to Urania. What can we do in corporate America, women in corporate America, to help?
I just answered. I think you meant to call
Oh,
me.
I'm sorry. Haywan. I'm sorry. Yes, Haywan, your hands is still up. I love it. Haywan.
Okay. I agree with Arania too, that like a lot of the women in corporate spaces, like, you know, if you do see sexism, or if you do see a male colleague acting unfairly to a counterpart, you should call it out regardless of how it might impact your career. Addressing inequity at any space is essential. And then just moving on as well, I feel like regardless if you're in corporate America or how old you are, restructuring your view of feminism to understand that simply how a woman chooses to present herself, regardless of how different or similar it is from how you present yourself, doesn't mean they require less or more respect. So understanding that your younger counterparts in the workspace require just as much respect as you do, regardless of how much seniority or experience or education you have above them. So yeah.
I love that. Absolutely. You know, I work in finance and it's very heavy male dominated, and it was very intimidating to me when I first went on, but now I'm a senior manager, and I am just the same as everyone else. So, and I'm a Latina to top that off. So it's very rare. But you know, as we're so fluid and we're so flexible, and we understand diversity more than anybody else. So keep up the good fight, ladies, and keep letting us know what we can do to help you. Absolutely. So I know we have a lot more questions in the Q&A box, but unfortunately we are almost out of time. So I do want to kick it over to Sonia in just a minute, but before I do, I just want to thank each and everybody on this call, Girls Inc., the scholarship winners. I'm so proud of everybody, all the efforts that we do. I hope this is a great reminder of what impact we are doing for ladies in the community, these scholarship winners, and how much they will pull forward and just help everybody in the future that they come across. It's something that like I said, my story is not over, and Girls Inc. has been a part of my journey and continues to be. So again, thank you so much for having me today, and have a great night. But I'll kick it over to Sonia. Sonia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maritza, and thank you all for submitting questions. There was one question that I did kind of note in that Q&A that I thought would be great to see an answer to, maybe just across the board before we go into our last question, is what advice would you give your 10-year-old self? If you could kind of think back, for some of you that was 5 years ago, for some of you that's 10 plus years ago, what advice would you give your 10-year-old self looking back from today? Let's go to Urania.
I would just give myself the advice to just take life one day at a time, to not take it over seriously, and just that things get better eventually, no matter what your circumstances are, things will eventually improve for you, and that Girls Inc. was going to be super important and meaningful to me.
Thank you, Orania. And let's do one final answer. How about Husna? Your advice that you would give your 10-year-old self.
I think thinking back on my personal experiences, I would say respect your teachers because they care about you, and respect all the mentors that you'll have in your life.
Absolutely. I think teachers have earned a whole new level of respect through this last year and a half. So, so thank you for sharing that. So one of the things I think that's really important that we participate in as part of this Girls Inc. community is gratitude and being able to thank and acknowledge those around us who have helped us to get to where we are today. So one final question to all of our participants. This is your space and your time to be able to share that gratitude to someone in your life or several people in your life. We know that being a 2021 Girls Inc. scholarship winner is an incredible achievement and that there are probably a number of people who have supported you along the way. So we'd like to give you a few minutes each to just share that. So first, I'd like to call on Husna.
I'd like to thank my parents who have inspired me to pursue my academic goals and all of the incredible mentors that I've had throughout my education.
I would like to thank my mom and sister for always supporting and encouraging me to pursue my goals. I'd also like to thank all the Girls Inc. staff, and especially Eureka staff, including Eric and Dia and Lupe, for piloting and building the Eureka program, as well as TLB staff, Melina and Jamie, for teaching me how to advocate for myself and others.
I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me and being there for me, and especially my mom for helping me. She's just my biggest inspiration in life. She's always pursued what she's wanted. She's managed to pave an amazing career for herself, and she's just an amazing woman. And I'd also like to thank all of the staff and volunteers that I've encountered throughout my various years at Girls Inc.
I'd like to thank my mom for being my biggest supporter. I truly appreciate her presence in my life.
I've only reached where I am by having such great support from such selfless and determined people. So I'd like to specifically thank my teachers such as Ms. Cudner or Mr. Alwyn or Ms. Edwards. I'd also like to thank Sarah and the rest of the Girls Inc. staff for including me. And I'd like to thank my parents and my family as a whole.
I would like to thank my parents for always being supportive of me and for being my biggest inspirations in life. And I would also like to thank all the wonderful Girls Inc. staff. And I would also like to thank my teachers who are always so supportive and so kind and who help push us become better people.
I'd like to thank my parents who sacrificed so much for me to get to where I am right now, and always being so selfless and caring so much about me.
I would like to thank my family for always being there for me, especially my mom. We've been through a lot together, and we're still here working hard. And I'd love to thank the Girls Inc. staff for giving me a chance and believing in me.
And in the same spirit of gratitude, we want to thank all of you. We want to thank our My Bold Future sponsors and donors, folks who advocate for our work, who work toward gender equity in their own lives and communities and jobs, who stand in partnership with our girls, and who continue to support Girls Inc.'s mission year-round to inspire girls to be strong, smart, and bold. I hope you share in the sentiment that I feel after hearing from our scholarship winners today. just how bright and optimistic we can feel about the future moving forward, and how much love and resilience it takes to get to that point, and how much we need to celebrate that, not just today, but every day. Thank you also to Maritza Bonilla, who was our moderator tonight, an incredible example of Girls Inc.'s work long-term, and a strong, smart, and bold woman in all she does. I'd also like to thank our board and our staff who work year-round to ensure that this work happens with intention and with care, who really work to challenge each other to meet the growing and different needs that girls and communities and their families have, who have stepped up in ways this last year that are even beyond what we could have ever imagined. So thank you all so much. Finally, congratulations again to all of our scholarship winners. We know that the goals that you have for the future are going to be achieved, and we're so excited to be able to share in you being able to reach those goals, whether they're short-term or they're long-term. Again, to all of you who have joined us tonight, we hope you're leaving with some of those same feelings. Again, thank you so much for joining in our My Bold Future celebration, and for sharing in Girls Inc.'s work and vision year-round. Thank you and have a good night. Tomorrow we'll announce our prize drawing winners, and we'll close our final, we'll say our final thanks and gratitude for our 2021 My Bold Future celebration as we close out the celebration. So again, thank you all for your support. Have a great night, and we hope to see you soon, maybe even next year in person. Thanks, everyone.